Cardinals look to avoid a sweep tonight against the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs making their final visit to the Gateway City. They're 64-81. You wouldn't know it, though. The Cardinals 74-69. The reason why, they're starting pitching. In game number 1, the hard thrower, who had not made a start in a couple of years, Jeff Samardzija, shut down St. Louis. 105 pitches, 5 2/3, 6 hits. He walked 4, hit a man, but picked up the win. And then last night in game number 2, the Belleville, Illinois native in front of family and friends shut down St. Louis again. Over 100 pitches, 8 innings, 5 hits, and he dominated the Redbirds. With Al Rabosky, I'm Dan McLaughlin, and welcome to Cardinals baseball. And now the Cardinals, Al, face an old friend, another righty, and that's Carlos Zambrano tonight.
And he's really pitching his best baseball this season and maybe in a long time. Big Z is 5-0 here at this ballpark, so it's going to be a big test for Chris Carpenter and his teammates.
Should be a fun matchup when you talk about these two. Carlos Zambrano has had an up-and-down year in many ways. Carpenter has stayed healthy. He's been consistent, and we'll talk about that consistency when we come back. Carpenter, Big Z, Cubs, Cardinals, Game 3 coming up. Carlos Zambrano against one of the co-aces of the Redbirds, and that's Chris Carpenter. Carpenter hasn't beaten Zambrano the last 5 times these two pitchers have met. Al, when Chris Carpenter's healthy, normally that means that St. Louis is headed to postseason play.
And he's going to win at least 15 ball games. 07 and 08, they did not go to postseason. He was not healthy. All the other years, except for this one, when he is healthy, they go to postseason.
And a look at Carpenter in his career against Chicago. Great record. He's had 20 starts, number 21 tonight. A record of 10-4, ERA under 3, 2.87. When he's on, he is one of the best pitchers in all of baseball.
Absolutely. And he's got that tremendous cutter, and he's also 11-3 here at home.
We'll tell you about Mizzou football when we come back as Matt Holliday was getting loose with his young son before the game tonight and getting set for baseball. Back with more in just a moment. Stadium in St. Louis. Final time the Cubs will be in the Gateway City. Well, Mizzou football fans, this Saturday, Missouri takes on the Aztecs of San Diego State. And many video providers in our Cardinals viewing area will offer this game on pay-per-view for $39.95. Access your digital program guide or call your video provider to order the game today or visit foxsportsmidwest.com for details as Mizzou looks to go to 3-0. It's pay-per-view September 18th. That's this weekend, this Saturday at 6 from Perot Field against San Diego State. Matt Holliday providing the protection behind Albert Pujols. Just moments ago, Matt taking his cuts, getting set for baseball tonight. A look at Albert, though, when we come back. Tonight, Albert Pujols is back in the lineup. And with Albert, you never know. You just might see history. Pujols into right center field. That ball is trouble. Get going. Gone. Home run for Albert. Wow, that is crushed into left field. Albert Pujols, 4 for 4. His second home run. Power against power. Albert wins that battle. There goes Renteria. The pitch is driven into deep right center field. Did he do it again? Sosa back. It is gone. A 3-home run day for Pujols, and the Cardinals have taken the lead. One of the most unbelievable games of the season, and Pujols a 3-home run day, 5 for 5.
The third home run of the game by Albert Pujols, 8-7. Listen to this crowd. You ought to see the home plate area. They're going to mob their teammate, Albert Pujols.
There's a drive to deep left, and home run number 40 is in the books. Has drilled another one. Look out! Home run, a 2-run shot. Has he done it again? Kiss it goodbye. He has hit 3 home runs in a game.
Albert with a long one to left. And it is gone. That's a street ball, boys and girls. Here's another one. Is it going to stay fair? Yes! It's gone. Another booming shot. A shot into center field. Going back. Gone!
Albert is in the lineup tonight. The folks at the Champions Club getting set for a little dinner and a little baseball. Cards look to avoid the sweep against Chicago. First pitch coming up next. Clean finish, it's what we do. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life meets flavor. And by Chevy's expert auto service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. First pitch is taken for a strike, and we're underway. Should be a fun matchup when you talk about Carlos Zambrano and Chris Carpenter, even though the Cardinals are fading fast here in the Central Division. And it's always fun with the Cubs and Cardinals, and the Cubs looking for a sweep, and they'll have to do it against one of the game's best, our Marshall Wireless Sprint starter, and that's Chris Carpenter.
15 wins on the season, good winning percentage, ERA right around 3, over 200 innings pitched.
This is Blake DeWitt in the leadoff spot. We saw Kosuke Fukudome lead off last night. He struck out 3 times, and Fukudome not in this lineup tonight. Mike Quade has done a nice job with the Cubs since he took over for Lou Piniella, and in doing so with some of the young players, he has gotten the Cubs brass their attention to what may happen this offseason.
No doubt about it. You know, he has a very nice pedigree of managing the minor leagues. He's been a coach in the big leagues several years now for Lou Piniella, and hoping to become a full-time manager as he's the interim, and the ball club has responded, winning 13 of the first 20 games he's managed.
Another team that you didn't expect to do much down the stretch, Houston, and there's a strikeout for Carpenter. The Astros have an outside chance to catch the Cardinals before this is all said and done. Look at the lineup for the Cubs: Blake DeWitt, Darwin Barney, and Marlon Byrd. Aramis Ramirez, Xavier Nady, your first baseman, Alfonso Soriano back in the starting lineup, Tyler Colvin, Coy Hill, and Carlos Zambrano, the pitcher, batting ninth, and we know he can swing the bat.
Make that statement one more time, because that is inconceivable a few months ago.
And with the kind of start that they had, but Houston an outside chance to catch the Cardinals. They are 5 games behind St. Louis. Brad Mills has done a very nice job.
Unbelievable.
Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on Darwin Barney. Here's one of those young players that the Cubs feel has a future in the major leagues.
He's done a very nice job, and of course they have a outstanding rookie shortstop that's been injured this entire series. But this young man, who's been a winner throughout his baseball days, he was on a state championship team. His Oregon State Beavers won back-to-back College World Series. Been an all-star the last 2 years, and he's done a real nice job the last 11 games since coming up to the big leagues.
A lot to be said for guys that get to this level that have won before. Pressure situations like he had in college.
Well, Dan, a lot of it has to do with the fact, and that's why it's important. When you look at the Cardinals minor league system, 5 of their 7 teams went to postseason. The first part of the minor leagues is development. But if you can develop and also win, get the players accustomed to being on winning environments, so, that accept nothing less than that. We've all seen sometimes, it used to be that you would always take the best talent. Sometimes in the game today, you'll take the guys with a great character, maybe have less ability, but play as a team. And come there and do all the little things to help your teammates and to produce a winning environment.
The final out was made last night. Rudely, we were interrupted as the game was over, and you were telling us about Nick Stavanoa and the big difference between the minor leagues and the major leagues.
Well, we started the conversation where when I played, if you could make the jump from A ball to AA, you could play in the big leagues.
There's a fly ball out to right, and Randy Wynn makes the catch on the track. Let's take a look at the defense. Start with the outfield for St. Louis from left to right. Holiday, Rasmus, and Wynn, presented by Dobbs. The infield tonight: Lopez, Ryan, Schumacher, and Pujols back in there with that sore elbow, and Carpenter, Molina, our battery.
Now, what he talked about, and I agree, and you and I have talked about the fact that now the biggest difference is AAA to the major leagues. And, I said, why is it? You go down there and you hit 400 plus. Now, he's done a very nice job pinch hitting this year and assuming that role going up and down. But he has absolutely crushed the ball when he's been down there. And he goes, part of the thing is, the very first year you play in AAA is the toughest mentally. Because, you're starting to get guys that are a little more crafty. You've got guys that have, power arms that are still trying to find their secondary pitch.
Base hit by Marlon Byrd.
You have other guys, he said, this time of year, it's really watered down in AAA because the power arms are now in the big leagues. Or, you get a lot of young kids that have come up from AA to the big leagues, and they're trying to search and find themselves. But he said that you can really set up pitchers down there. Very few pitchers can throw 3 curveballs for strikes. So you can eliminate pitches. You can, guys who are going to throw.
Here's a shot, right center, Wynn playing deep, makes the catch leaping at the track.
Fastballs and fastballs counts. The guys that win can turn that around.
Cardinals coming up, and they're after the first. Mark at 74-69. Chicago 64-81. And Skip Schumacher leads it off against Carlos Zambrano. Skip this season hitting .271, 5 home runs and 39 driven in. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's been an interesting year for the Big Z. 8-6, 3.88 ERA, just over 100 innings. Zambrano has been demoted to reliever. Started the year, he only made 4 starts in their rotation. He was roughed up on opening day against the Atlanta Braves. Suspended by the team. Left the team for anger management counseling at a minor league rehab. Then was put back in their bullpen. And now this is his 8th start since coming back in the rotation. And since he's come back, Al, he's been very good.
He really has. And I got to tell you, when I was counseling him for anger management, he was really a great student, but I really turned him around.
I'm sure you did.
Not only has he pitched
you
well,
have a lot in common.
It's coming back, but he's owned Busch Stadium.
Zambrano puts away Schumacher for the first out. Let's take a look at Tony La Russa's lineup. Just saw Schumacher, now Randy Wynn, and then Albert Pujols, who's back in there with the sore elbow. Matt Holliday, Colby Rasmus, Felipe Lopez, Yadier Molina, Brendan Ryan, and the pitcher back to batting 9th, and that's Carpenter tonight. Here's the switch hitting, Randy Wynn.
Randy's had great numbers against Zambrano, 7 for 15 with a home run. But Zambrano, he's trying to remain undefeated at Busch Stadium, 5-0 with an ERA of 1.85.
Wynn, we've noticed, plays very deep in right field, and that really benefited the Cardinals in the top of the first. I'm not sure if he's playing in that he makes that catch off the bat of Aramis Ramirez.
And it's interesting. Remember, Dave McKay always tried to get Jim Edmonds to play deeper, and he refused to do so. But they've got Kobe Rasmus playing much deeper. I've always been the belief in that there's a tremendous amount of hits that fall in front of you when you play so deep, and very few balls get over your head that stay in the ballpark. But usually a guy plays deep because he's not comfortable going back on a ball.
Since Zambrano has returned to the rotation, he's 5-0 with a 1.60 ERA. And away from Wrigley Field this season, 5-4 with an ERA that is over 5. Much better at home, ERA of 2.38.
Some people around the Cubs are wondering what would happen if he met adversity again. You know, since he's returned, he really hasn't had to deal. He's been so good, he hasn't had to deal with a real bad inning or some defensive lapse.
Strikeout of Randy Wynn. And it brings in Albert Pujols, Soriano, Byrd, and Colvin in the outfield. Ramirez, Barney, DeWitt, and Nady on the infield. Zambrano and Hill. The battery tonight, Cubs defense, and around the horn presented by Dobbs. Zambrano made 16 appearances out of their bullpen and a 4.32 ERA. And these two have seen each other an awful lot. Carlos Zambrano and Albert Pujols over the years.
Albert, 64 bats, 18 hits, 5 big home runs. It's always weird when you see a prolific hitter like Albert, arguably the best hitter in the game today, and one all time, but how these pitchers just run over to him and want to talk.
And you're trying to figure out why would the pitchers want to talk to him?
I mean, you know, it's. I was taught by the greatest competitor ever, Bob Gibson, that you don't talk to that opposition. Don't give them any kind of an idea that you might be a nice guy. Put the fear in them. You know, don't show a weakness.
So Pujols 18 for 64, 5 doubles, 5 home runs, 9 walks, and he struck out 12 times. Looks at a strike on the outside corner. Pujols doesn't like the call with our home plate umpire, and tonight that's Marvin Hudson.
Might have been a little bit down and away. We'll check it out. But looks like it's a pitcher's pitch.
Good pitch.
Yep. Very good pitch.
The 3-2. And there's a walk to Pujols. Runner at first with 2 outs, and here's Matt Holliday. Holliday had an RBI last night and a double. Now with 93 RBIs on the year. And in this series, he's 3 for 8 with a pair of RBIs and a double.
Swinging the bat really well. This has been a good month for Albert and Holliday. Had his 41st double last night. That's 3rd in the National League.
4 for 16 with 4 walks and a pair of strikeouts against Zambrano in his career. Holliday hits it in the air to right center. Marlon Byrd calling for it. Calls off Colvin, makes the catch. Cardinals stranded a runner. No score after an inning of play. Chris Carpenter, first inning of work, had a strikeout of DeWitt to start the game. Gave up a base hit to Marlon Byrd. He was left stranded, and now Xavier Nady looks at a strike. Talked about it the other night. Carpenter was sailing in that game against the Atlanta Braves, and then they got to him with a 6 spot when Carpenter, midway through that game, had a 3-run lead. And normally you don't see him give up those kind of leads. And the innings have piled up this year. He's well above 200. He'd be the first one to tell you he gets stronger as he goes deeper into the game, longer into a season. Toyota Keys, and our last 4 starts, we've seen these two, Zambrano and Carpenter. And it's been Carlos Zambrano, 4-0 with a .95 ERA. Carpenter 1-2, 4.62 ERA.
That's why you kind of wonder about Carlos. Is he completely cured? But with never any adversity, you just don't really know if his emotions have been challenged.
Alfonso Soriano did not play last night. The 1-0 catches Molina. Wonder how much of the playing time Yadier Molina will get in the final couple of weeks. Do you have Brian Anderson up? Matt Pagnazzi.
Yadi's dealing with that little knee issue. It's swelling. So I think it's a good likelihood that the youngsters will get some playing time.
Pulled foul. You see Alfonso Soriano. Cardinals have gotten him to chase an awful lot this year out of the zone. Hangs over the plate.
That's why it's important to throw a couple pitches in on him so he'll chase away.
Like that. Strikeout of Soriano, number 2 tonight for Carpenter.
Just keep enough inside to keep him honest, and then exploit that free swinger away, down and away off the plate. Good start for Carpenter. 27 pitches, 20 strikes.
Here's Colvin, who's playing right field tonight. Looks at his strike. A lot of first pitch strikes from Carpenter.
You have to when you've got that ratio. And that lollipop curveball to get ahead. And a cutter coming in. Just kind of wonder, you know, how the Cardinal pitchers just throw so many breaking balls. I wonder how that takes a toll, or when you do need to reach back for a fastball, it's not quite there. Another curveball.
0-2 pitch. Pulled foul. Cardinals no off days from here till the end of the season. They'll be in Florida on Monday. 3 with Pittsburgh, and then we'll see the Cubs the following weekend.
Another curveball.
0-2. Bounced it. That's where Molina wanted it. And another strikeout. Molina to Pujols. 2 in the inning. 3 so far in the first couple of innings of play. Rasmus, Lopez, Molina coming up. No score. Zambrano back to work. Bottom of the second, Cubs Cardinals. Chicago looking for a sweep. And the last pitch by Carpenter, that breaking ball.
Notice the thumb and middle finger catching seams where he can really pull down and get that 12-6 rotation on that curveball.
Well, you saw right before the pitch calling for it in the dirt as well.
He's well ahead in the count, so you're trying to keep from hanging it.
Colby has homered in this series, looks at a strike, 2-1.
Colby's had his problems with Zambrano, just 1 for 10.
Fights it off, and a base hit into center field. Cardinals will have their second runner of the night. The other was Pujols with a walk. Cardinal fans, Bike to Busch on Sunday, September 19th. That's this weekend. Cards host the Padres. Bike to Busch is one of the Cardinals for a Greener Game initiatives that features a pregame tailgate, bicycle expo, and more. For tickets and information, visit cardinals.com/Bike to Busch. Here's Lopez. He and Zambrano have faced each other nearly 50 times.
Not throwing as hard as he once did at one time, which kind of provided a very uncomfortable bat. As his had very good stuff and was effectively wild. Just never knew what he might do. He drew you in a second. Could throw the ball by. He's got the splitter. Got off-speed pitches.
He doesn't seem to be as free and easy as he once was. And when you watch him, almost like he's pushing the ball. You agree with that?
Yeah. And that's why you kind of, at times, the last couple of years, you kind of wondered at times, is his arm hurting? Is there a problem?
1-1 pitch to Felipe Lopez. Catches the corner. Felipe started third base. Pedro Feliz needed a break. He'd been struggling at the plate, playing good defense, but Felipe gets the start tonight, and he's 0 for 5 in this series. He filled in over at first base for Pujols last night.
And it's obvious you need to have an offensive team right now.
1-2. You just don't know what Cardinals team is going to show up. You go back to about a month ago. It was when the Cardinals had the sweep over the Reds. They came home after an off day, won on Friday night. And since then, it's tough to put your finger on exactly what's happened. Base hit to right. Back-to-back singles, and it brings in Yadier Molina.
If he adds to his .333 average, ball up and in, but he fights it off, dunks it into right field. Yadier has struggled against Zambrano, and you wonder, even though it's down in the order, would you think about, bunting here? You really have nothing to lose. You can do all kinds of things, but try to generate some offense.
One of the most commonly asked questions right now by any Cardinal fan is what happens in the offseason? How do you improve this team to make sure that what's happened down the stretch doesn't happen for 6 months next year?
And you're trying to figure that out, and you're also trying to sign, Albert Pujols,
which is probably number one on their list.
It's got to be, because he's got the option. You can put the option in play, but you also want to sign him long term.
Just foul.
I fully understand Albert not wanting it to be a distraction, not wanting to deal with it during the season. But here's my question to you. If you try to make your number one priority re-sign him long-term this offseason, and he doesn't, bite, do you say, okay, well, now he's signaling to me that he's not going to sign after next year.
There's a couple things that go into what you're saying too. What's long term? How long do you go? And is there a sense of urgency from his side that he has to be the highest paid player in the game?
Well, he has been on record, Dan, saying that it's not all about money. It's more important is winning.
Runners go, and it's hit out of play.
So I was waiting for that. Of course, it was 3-2, and you got anything that Yachty hits on the ground, they're going to turn to. So you really do have to get those runners moving. And you can do that a little bit easier with Molina because he makes contact. He doesn't strike out much. So you're hoping that he will make contact, send the runners, and they can avoid the double play. And because he doesn't strike out much, you avoid the double play, strike him out, throw him out.
And that'll find the seats out of play.
The real question in my mind is if you give Albert anything near what he deserves, how do you put a team around him? How do you have a competitive team to where you fulfill his other wish to win?
And you would have to think when you signed Holiday, you had all different kinds of scenarios that you were looking at when you gave Matt his contract, and then how to make this all work. Runners go, and Molina is hit by the pitch. And the bases will be loaded and nobody out here in the Cardinals half of the second. And we turn to our text poll presented by U.S. Cellular. 8th place hitter Brendan Ryan coming up. Which is your favorite place to watch a game at Busch? Bleachers, Cardinals Club, Champions Club, or the Party Suites? Text Busch, A, B, C, or D to 432-432.
Tony's concerned about him. Let's see where it hits him. It looks like it's up around the arm or wrist, right off that elbow pad, right below it actually. But stood there. He told Tony he's fine, and here's a real key at bat early in this game.
Bases loaded for Brendan Ryan. Shoots one foul and out of play. Carlos Zambrano just turned 29 on June 1st. Still a young man. 3-time All-Star in 04, 06, and 08. Remember, he made his Major League debut at the age of 20.
Brendan's hit over 300 in this month. He's got a nice little 6-game hitting streak working too.
1-1 the count. 435 during that 6-game hitting streak.
He's 1 for 10 against Zambrano, but it's all about what he does in this at bat. Big gap in left center. There's a swing around in the outfield a little bit to right. Double play depth up the middle. Third baseman in, even with the bag.
2-1, hit out to right field. Coleman makes the catch. He was playing in and fires a strike to hit the cutoff man. And Zambrano, looking at it now, has Carpenter up. And then you've got the top of the lineup, so a chance to still get out of this jam. Colby Rasmus, the runner at third.
You got to go immediately back. That ball, you could tell real quickly that it was going to be caught. And if you do so, with the 9th place hitter, the Carpenter, coming up, you almost got to test the defense and push it.
Carpenter had a couple of hits in his last start, including an opposite field home run. This is a double play ball. Out at second, out at first. Bases loaded, nobody out. Cardinals don't score. Jim Hayes coming up. Jim Hayes has joined us along with Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. It's pretty big news here at the ballpark, Jim, concerning Jaime Garcia. Cardinals will shut him down for just one start, at least.
Skip one start. Jeff Suppan will get that start on Saturday, and then they're going to reevaluate Jaime. They feel like he's piled up a lot of innings. He's coming off surgery, so they want to be cautious. They feel like there is some arm fatigue. Earlier in the day, Tony La Russa had said they were shutting Jaime down for the rest of the season as a precaution.
Here's Hill into center and a base hit. And now that's probably not the worst thing. You know, Garcia's hit a little bit of a wall here down the stretch. He has the Tommy John surgery not too long ago, coming back first full season here in the big leagues. Time is running out. Might not be the worst thing to do.
Well, I talked to Tony about that, and the one thing that he really wanted to emphasize is Jaime was a little concerned about this. He really didn't want everyone to think that he's bailing out on the team. That is not the case at all. It's kind of like we've all seen a guy that's hitting 300 in the last couple of weeks. He shuts it down to guarantee that he hits 300. That's not the case with Jaime. He's made every start. He's made all of his bullpen in between starts. He's got a little bit of fatigue, and and he's hoping it's just the one start he misses.
Throw to second is high, and Brendan Ryan, by getting a glove on it, makes sure that does not go into center field, and Hill has a stolen base.
And Yadi's thrown out 44% of base runners in the last few years. Really kind of, his mechanics were a little bit off. Look at him kind of dancing around there. Maybe just upset because he got underneath it. A high throw, and as you say, Ryan skies up there, knocks it down, and kept it from going into center field and putting the runner at third.
I know, Jim, you wanted to follow up with what we're talking about here with Garcia.
Well, Tony La Russa said that was my bad to announce that prematurely without discussing it with Jaime first. When Jaime found out, he was upset. He and Dave Duncan met with Tony La Russa and John Mozeliak, and it was Jaime who really convinced them to not make that decision to shut him down for the entire rest of the season, to reevaluate. So that's what they're doing.
Zambrano does his job and advances the runner to third with one out.
Well, Zambrano's a very good hitter. He's got 21 career home runs. That leads their franchise. And second place was Fergie Jenkins. Jenkins with only 13.
And he's also made 5 opening day starts, most in club history. He's 7 for 13 against Chris Carpenter. So that includes tonight's at bat. So not an easy out when you talk about Zambrano. Now we're back to the top of the lineup, and Blake DeWitt. He struck out his first time up. First time through the lineup. Carpenter with 3 strikeouts and gave up a pair of hits. And I'm sure from the perspective of Jaime Garcia, if he gets one more start, maybe 2, he wants to go in the offseason with a high note. You know, his last couple of starts, he's been knocked around. But you've noticed, Al, that some of those pitches have been a little bit flat.
Well, he is at a career high in innings pitched. And, I really have, all along I said I wasn't concerned about him. But it is something to be said, really, because he's been in that rotation. They give him a day's rest, a little extra rest here and there. But, really is the first time he's really pitched in September. Before the injury, he did a little bit, but he wasn't in that rotation all season long.
And Jaime underscored when I spoke to him, he just felt like he had worked hard enough where they should give him the benefit of the doubt. The main thing was he didn't want his team to feel like he was walking away from them. He wanted to be part of that. He talked about the closeness of the guys in the starting rotation.
2-1 the count here on DeWitt.
And I think everyone is looking after his long-term interest. But if you were to ask Jaime, he'd be out there and making that next start right away.
No doubt. DeWitt hits it down the right field line, but out of play. Who was on the pregame show?
We had Trevor Miller, who is available tonight. He's had left elbow strain, and through a bullpen Monday, a day of rest, and is available tonight. He feels like he's 100%. It's been, I think, 9 days since he pitched, but he feels like he'll be good to go. He also talked about Jaime and the challenges of a season for a young pitcher who really hasn't done that at the major league level, especially coming off the injury. But he had nothing but respect for the way Jaime has gone about his business.
2-2 lifted into center. That'll score the run. The Cubs will go up by the score of 1-0. You're looking at a photo submitted by Becky Hall of Evansville, Indiana. The winner of our Fan of the Game photo contest. Becky wins McDonald's food certificates from McDonald's St. Louis Co-op. Every week is a new contest with a new winning photo. All you have to do is head to foxsportsmidwest.com to send us your photos and have the chance to enter to win. Darwin Barney looks at ball one. 2 outs and nobody on. 1-0 Chicago. Ground ball to Schumacher. Midway through 3. Cubs lead at 1-0. It's what we do. Skip Schumacher. First pitch is strike, 1-0 Chicago. 1 ball, 1 strike. Look back to the bottom of the second. That kind of sums up the way that things have been going. Bases loaded, nobody out. And the Cardinals cannot get a run. Three and 1. And that has been how it's been going.
You talked about how Mr. Zambrano would handle adversity. He did already. See if the Cardinals can create some more out.
Randy Wynn will dig in with nobody out, runner at first. Take the Cardinals with you no matter where you're at. MLB.com's At Bat 2010. Watch games live and on demand for your iPhone, iPod Touch, iPad throughout the regular season. Visit Cardinals.com.
Mister, did you hear where I gave full disclosure that I was his therapist?
I thought that was good.
I did a little too good a job, apparently.
There's a line shot, base hit for Wynn. Here come the Cardinals again. First 2 have reached. Wynn 1 for 2, and here's Pujols.
And he was put in the lineup tonight because of his success against Zambrano. And there he takes that one and lines it right back over shortstop. So the Cardinals, who had the bases loaded, nobody out, this time 2 men on with Albert. A little different scenario than at the bottom of the order.
Albert back in the lineup after sitting out last night. I said, Albert, how's the elbow? He said, it feels good. I said, can we ask you a couple questions? He said, it feels good. That's all you need to know. He's right.
Nobody out. Here's Pujols. Cincinnati, top of the 6th. We'll keep an eye on that game. 5-3 over the Diamondbacks.
Halliday's going for his 19th win. He has a 9-2 lead.
Pujols down the left field line, but foul. 0-2. You know, Halliday may just sneak in and win the Cy Young. All the complete games,
I don't think
innings.
Quite sneak in.
Well, if you look at it, Al, if you went by the first 2 months, everybody thought Ubaldo Jimenez was the runaway.
Well, that's why, you know, the season's a long season, in 6 months, and Halliday's been in contention for a long time.
Right down the middle, and he popped it up on the infield fly, and the shortstop takes it for the out.
And I think it's very easy to say that Wainwright had a leg up over Jimenez and Halliday about a month or so ago, but just one for his last, one win in his last 6 decisions.
You look at the line for Adam Wainwright last night, very odd. 8 innings, bunch of strikeouts. You see that, you're usually looking at his line. If he goes that deep into a game, he's going to win.
He gave up 9 hits in the first 4 innings.
And he had all the strikeouts early on, too, as Halliday takes a strike. Fly to center, first time up. .265 with runners in scoring position. Tying run at second base. Go ahead run at first. This could be a double play. Out at second, and they drop it. They're going to say safe, and the bases will be loaded.
There's going to be an argument there, as it looked like Blake DeWitt reached in to try to extract the ball. And if that's the case, that constitutes a force out. You have to voluntarily reach into the glove, try to extract the ball. If you do that, then they say it's catch. Catches the ball. Now, does he reach in to take it? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think if you got together with the umpires, that ball will be reversed.
As it stands right now, air on Blake DeWitt.
And that's what Mike Quaddy, the interim manager, is trying to say, that, you're wrong. He did reach in and try to extract the ball.
We'll take it.
Absolutely. But if you're a fair announcer, you have to say that Cardinals catch a break there. And
well, when we find some, we can let them say it.
Okay, Mr. Radio.
Want to know the count on Colby Rasmus. Second time tonight, the Cardinals with the bases loaded. The other time, nobody out, couldn't score. 2-0, 1 out. It's an out of play.
At the very least, you must tie this game. And you're looking for a lot more. Cardinals have really struggled with runners in scoring position in this series.
Little floater out to left. Soriano makes the catch. They'll test him. Throw to the plate. And he is saved. Schumacher tested Soriano, and he scores. And we're tied at 1-1. I wonder if Soriano was surprised, even though he was a little bit off balance.
It took him a long time to recover an extra step, and I thought there was no chance that that'd be a close play, and it was. He is clearly safe, but a lot closer than I envisioned. Yes, he wasn't that deep, and Soriano does have a strong throwing arm. He gets a lot of assists because everybody runs on him.
Felipe Lopez looks at a strike. Lopez singled first time up.
Here's kind of a little bit of a test because you can see his body language just slowed up a little bit, but he looked a little perturbed that they tied the score.
1-1 pitch. Hit out of play, 1-2. Well, he's thinking there should be a double play, and I'm out of the inning.
One thing you learn real quick, though, is the things that are beyond your control, don't worry about it. You know, the play's not made behind you. You show your teammates that you're good enough to pitch around it.
That's a fine line for a guy who feeds off emotion, though, isn't it?
It is, but you know what? I think a lot of times guys that feed off emotion are maybe harder on themselves, but they can have that ability to forgive their teammates. Well, at least you'd like to hope so.
15 for 43, couple of home runs against Zambrano. That's updated with a base hit back in the second.
I always said you can tone down your emotions, but if you don't have any, it's hard to get some.
1-2. And he got him. He freezes Lopez, no argument. Cardinals strand 2. Unearned run, but we're tied up at 1. Move to the top of the fourth. Marlon Byrd, Aramis Ramirez, Xavier Nady coming up. Byrd with a base hit back in the first. Carpenter has allowed 2 hits tonight, and he struck out 3. I'll explain why a right-hander would want to work from the first base side of the rubber, maybe not the third. Is it preference? Is it something that they're comfortable with? Or is there a particular pitch that he's trying to establish by going on that side of the rubber?
A combination, as you watch, that primarily with that breaking ball, he wants to keep it away from the right-handed batters. So you start out on the first base side, you have a tendency to a lot easier to get the ball down and away. Also helps you get the ball inside to a left-handed batter. A lot of it's just where you feel more comfortable throwing a dominant side of the plate.
That was something that Dave Duncan helped him with many years ago here in St. Louis. Boy, Carpenter's been around for a while now, hasn't he?
Sure has, and been a nice run. When he's healthy, he's never had fewer than 15 wins.
Jammed him. Hit to short. 1 out. October 1st, Cardinals take on the Rockies, support an amazing cause during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. 25,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a breast cancer awareness tote bag, courtesy of Fuse and Schnucks. For more information, visit cardinals.com/promotions. Byrd 1 for 2, and it brings in Ramirez. He had a drive into deep right center field, hauled in by Randy Wynn. Took a hit and an RBI away. Ramirez has said publicly that he wants to come back next year. It's his option to come back. And he'll be playing for the Cubbies one final season, possibly. Breaks his bat, popped up. Ryan out, Holiday in. A lot of English. Some of the ground balls that Brendan Ryan has seen this year. And the throw to Albert Pujols to the rotation of the baseball.
I love that slow-mo cam. John Lawrence and his ability to focus on the zero in on that. That's neat. Of course, our crew here is the best in all of baseball.
Here's Nady with 6 home runs, 33 driven in, and hitting .262. Grounded out to short first time up. At the knees, 1 ball, 1 strike. Another ground ball on a jam shot. Brendan slings it over to Albert Pujols. 7, 8, and 9 coming up for the Cards. We're tied up at 1. Ozzie Smith sets a new Major League Baseball record for career double plays by being a part of number 1,554, the twin killing. That night, our Schnucks date in history. Ozzie Smith. Wish we saw him more around the ballpark. Molina hits it sharply. Ramirez with it. Bring the family down this Sunday 2 hours prior to the game. Complimentary frozen treats and fun prizes in the Ford Plaza, courtesy of North Star. 345-9000 or Cardinals.com for tickets this weekend against the Padres. It's also Matt Holliday Growth Poster Day here at the ballpark. Throw was up the line, and Nady was off the bag, and instead of tagging Molina, just went right back to the bag. Brendan Ryan lined out to right with the bases loaded and nobody out his first time up. Lines out to second, and Blake DeWitt quickly 2 outs. This time of year, we're talking Blues hockey. Returns to Fox Sports Midwest in just 3 weeks. TV schedule was announced today, and Fox Sports Midwest will bring you a franchise record 75 Blues games this season. For the complete schedule, all you have to do is go to foxsportsmidwest.com. Blues return October 9th on Fox Sports Midwest.
Zambrano throws from the third base side. So it's just kind of individual preference. Now he should have a different landing zone from Carpenter. He should be closer towards the third base side, where Carpenter should be closer to the first base side, and they shouldn't really interfere with each other.
See that landing front foot right next to each other. Ramirez with time and gets Carpenter by step. Cardinals go in order. Soriano leads it off when we come back. Cubs and Cardinals here on Fox Sports Midwest. 1-1 game. Fifth inning rolls in. Soriano leads it off. Struck out his first time up. And that's strike one. We folks stop in the booth, take a picture, and one of the young Cardinal fans decided to have a little accident on Al. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Thanks, Dan. Truth hurts. No more pictures in the booth.
Age limit. 2-1.
on both ends, right?
We do see it both sides of the spectrum. There's no doubt. Upstairs to Alfonso Soriano. Colvin on deck, and then Hill. Soriano in his career with the Cubs has batted leadoff. He's been a cleanup man. And he looks at ball 4, leadoff walk here in the 5th. And we turn to our trivia question tonight, presented by AT&T. Since 04, which National League pitchers are tied with the most wins against the Chicago Cubs? But Wainwright, is he in there? Carpenter with 10 and Aaron Harang with 10.
Under what, 10 and 4?
And here's Colvin, who struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. Short lead at first by Soriano. Off the glove of Carpenter. Barehanded by Brendan Ryan and out at first. Carpenter does not even look into the dugout to give them a chance to come out and check on him.
Caught all gloves, so it wasn't a body part. Now, Asbury, it was the glove. Go back. Declared. Line drive right there, clearly off his glove. Nice recovery is, you saw Brendan Ryan really didn't rush it. Just knew he had enough time. Just go there, make sure you're under control, pick it up, and throw him out.
Good pitch. A swing and a miss by Hill.
Going through a little productive stage where he has 9 hits, 5 RBIs. His last 8 games were in the bat.
Stole the base, singled, and scored. The only run for the Cubs tonight back in the 3rd.
289 and with runners in scoring position.
Diamondbacks coming back against Cincinnati. They cut into that lead 5-4 in the top of the 7th. Got him on the inside corner. Froze him for strikeout number 4.
Good breaking ball. Is it not the 12-6? A little more of a side angle, but ends up in a good location. In on him. Just couldn't pull the trigger.
Cardinals will have the top of the order coming up in their half of the 5th. Schumacher, Wynn, and Pujols. First time up, Carlos Zambrano pulled a ball to the right side to advance a runner to 3rd. He takes a healthy cut, no doubt.
Trying to get that 22nd home run of his career, and good numbers against Carpenter. That's surprising, isn't it? I know he's a good hitting pitcher, but still, Carpenter's one of the best pitchers.
There aren't regulars that have those kind of numbers. 0-2. Time is called. Molina called it. Just got a piece. You see the home plate umpire point to who calls it. Make sure the pitcher understands that the batter is not trying to disrupt him.
Correct.
And he doesn't take one in his ear.
Don't blame me.
Right.
It's your guy that did it. He's the one that asked for time.
Another breaking ball and a fly ball. Into shallow left, and the shortstop wants it. Brendan Ryan, top of the lineup, coming up. It's 1-1. July 22nd, hot night at Busch Stadium. Chris Carpenter goes 9 innings, over 100 pitches. And Carlos Zambrano, 9 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. He struck out 12, and it comes down to this. Bottom of the 11th, Hector Luna from third, David Eckstein, a walk-off bunt. 2-1 the final. St. Louis over Chicago.
We'll take that.
The pitcher's duel here tonight. St. Louis with 3 hits, Cubbies with 2. Schumacher has grounded back to Zambrano and also walked and scored back in the third. Many times you'll see Carpenter and Zambrano work so quickly, and neither side has really stepped out, trying to disrupt the pace. You were talking about the emotions of Carlos Zambrano, and you wonder, in this great rivalry, the heated rivalry of the Cardinals and the Cubs, if he actually is a little bit better on the road, as he can calm those emotions down, not pitching at home in that great atmosphere that is Wrigley Field.
And he's 5-0 in this ballpark.
3-2. And a walk. You see his career against the Cardinals overall, 6-1, 1.27 ERA. And home at Wrigley Field, 5-5, and the high ERA over 5. He has hit a man and he's walked 3. He walked Pujols in the first and twice now Schumacher. Here's Randy Wynn, who was struck out and singled to left center. Ground ball. Out at second, back to first, and not in time as the ball gets away, but a heads-up play backing up.
Nice play by Blake DeWitt. It's the second baseman that fielded that ball as it got away from Nady and kept Wynn from going to second base.
6 is a serious number. When the Cardinals score 6, you get a 20-ounce coffee, fountain, or frozen drink for just $0.25. The next day at On the Run and Mobile, win or lose, Cardinals score 6. You score 25-cent drinks in On the Run. .76 pitches tonight for Carlos Zambrano here in the bottom of the 5th. Pujols is walked. That was in the first and came up with runners at first and second in the third and popped out to short. You know, he'd love to finish with not just 40 home runs, but well above that a couple weeks to go. He's at 39.
Leads in home runs. He's now tied in RBIs with the top spot in the National League. 307 average among the league leaders, but well off the pace.
And a grounder that's pulled foul. Who will be the MVP? 3-horse race right now. Pujols, Joey Votto, Carlos Gonzalez.
There's another one of those yet to be determined. That's the way it should be. Should be competition going down the stretch. And some voters will put a lot of emphasis. You know, does your contribution help your team get to postseason?
Another foul ball.
It seemed like trying to get Albert to hit something off speed, keep him off balance.
At this point, I think it'd be pretty tough to go against Votto. And then you look at Gonzalez and I say, well, it'd be pretty tough to go against him.
Sure. I mean, it's, and I think that, you know, we've talked about it a little bit, but you really do have to skew Gonzalez's numbers because of how drastically different they are home and road. Got the humidor down, but those numbers are pre-humidor. You know how dominant they are in his home ballpark. About 75% of his damage, it seems like, is at home versus road.
2-2 on Pujols. Got him to reach. Hits it out of play.
I think that was the first fastball in the sequence.
Here's a look at the splits for Pujols. More home runs on the road, but a better average at home.
And more RBIs on the road. Well, I mean, produces in both areas. Slider. Called. Time is called.
Now Gonzalez is hitting .390 at home, .288 on the road. 25 home runs at home, 7 on the road.
That's what I'm saying. You know, you just.
Ooh.
Good throw. That would have been a pretty close play at first. But Randy Wynn gets back.
70 RBIs at home for Gonzalez. 34 away. 3-2 on Pujols. Runner goes, and a ground ball backhanded by Ramirez, stays with it, and Pujols is retired. 0 for 2 tonight. Pitch by pitch presented by Chevrolet.
You watch a lot of sliders, a lot of off-speed pitches. Just really not a little fastball inside there, but he's really not giving him anything. There's a little bit of a hanger, but trying to keep the ball away. A couple inside pitches that were enough to keep him honest, and finally a little slider he rolls over the top of and hits a ground ball to third.
Good rip by Holiday and foul back. Oh-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Holiday tonight reached on an error. Potential double play ball that could have ended an inning. Instead, it extended it to Colby Rasmus. He drove in a run, tied it up at 1-1. Holiday has also flied out to center. With runners in scoring position, Cardinals 273 today, 0 for 5. And really, that's been a major problem in the first 2 nights. Blew it right by him, 1-2. 3-time National League Silver Slugger, Matt Holiday.
San Diego lost today at Colorado. They'll be winging their way into St. Louis for a 4-game set. Cincinnati has a 1-run lead now over the Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 7th inning. Cincy 5-4 over Arizona.
Remember, Holiday did that to himself last night.
It's got to hurt, doesn't it?
No doubt. Last night's was worse. Remember, he hit the deck. He was in some serious pain.
Last night it looked like it was right on the toe. Matt still trying to regroup.
And a swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Holiday strikes out. Sends us to the 6th. We're tied up at 1. Turn of Ryan Ludwick, who actually has dropped down in the lineup for the Padres. He was batting 7th the other night. Very popular player with both his teammates and the fans.
I know at one point in yesterday's ball game he was 3 for 4. He was being a little bit inconsistent there, but it'll be sure good to see him.
And DeWitt carved up on 3 pitches to start the 6th.
If you can throw that great curveball and then you can get guys to chase a fastball up out of the strike zone, and you'll see more times than not you can go up the ladder with left-handed hitters.
Will San Diego be able to hold on? National League West start play tonight, game and a half in front of San Francisco. They might just have the best pitching in the National League. You look at the Phillies, and they'll throw Halladay, Oswalt, Cole Hamels, or lefty that was hitting 94, 95 on the gun last night. Remember that gym that he pitched here? We saw him earlier in the year. His velocity wasn't even close to what it's been here in the second half. But with his changeup, that could be a big, big difference for him. On the ground to Brendan Ryan. Barney retired for out number 2. Brings in Marlon Byrd and the results of our text poll tonight, presented by U.S. Cellular. Favorite place to watch a game at Busch Stadium? The bleachers. We appreciate all the text. Minnesota trying to make it 2 wins in a row over the White Sox. They could go 8 up on Ozzie Guillen's club. There's a fly ball into center. Quick inning for Chris Carpenter. Rasmus Lopez Molina coming up. It's 1-1. Baseball brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Lumiere Casino. Every time the Cardinals win, the next day get a free buffet with a purchase of one at the kitchen at Lumiere Place. Visit My Choice for details. And by Taco Bell, open 2 a.m. or later. First pitch was a ball to Colby Rasmus. Underway in the Cardinals half of the 6th. 1-1. Along with Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin, and our Fox Sports Midwest crew. Pitcher's duel with Zambrano and Carpenter.
Yeah, the Cardinals have had more scoring opportunities, but haven't been able to get the big hit.
Rasmus tonight has the only RBI. Number 62 for St. Louis. And he also has a single. Count is full. Lopez on deck. And then Yadier Molina, the 3-2. Ripped down the right field line, and extra bases for Colby. Digging for 2. No stop at second base with a leadoff double.
Nice start to a nice evening for Colby. 2 hits and a sac fly. Breaking ball coming in there, down and away, but right now he's kind of in a pull mode, pull conscious, as he just hooks that ball down in the corner.
Ramirez came in to visit with Zambrano. Talk about the potential of this, a bunt. Zambrano only plays to go to first, and he nearly threw it away. Sacrifice good, 1-3.
Molina's got to come through here and break the 1-1 tie. Of course, I'm sure they're going to talk it over, and you would think they would talk it over and say, just don't groove one. Brendan Ryan is 0 for 2. He's hit the ball hard twice, but Mike Quaddy's coming out there. He's bringing his tired infield defense to go over defensive strategy. We haven't seen a squeeze employed for a long time.
Just watching Quaddy's mannerisms in just these 3 games, when he goes out to visit with a pitcher or take the ball from him, he's very positive, very upbeat.
You can see he's not timid. He's out there very firm, trained, a message to his troops that, I know what I'm doing. And I'm going to give you all my benefit of 17 years of managing in the minor leagues. And, he has definitely paid his dues. He's ready for this opportunity. And as I said, the first 20 games he's managed, his team has won 13 of them.
And not to say that that's, what's going to make him the next manager, but a little different than when Lou Piniella would go out there and how he dealt with some of the players.
Sure. And, Lou's still one of my favorites, and we wish him the best. And, at least right now, he's doing the right thing to walk away from this ball club and give ownership and their general manager an opportunity to see somebody else at the helm.
Molina takes ball 2.
Infield in. Zambrano with his assortment gets his fair share of ground balls. Molina doesn't strike out.
Here's a 2-0 pitch.
But you can almost see that they're not afraid to walk him in this situation. They're not going to just put up 4 automatically. They're going to try and get him to expand his zone, but sometimes doing that you'll get a sac fly.
A 3-0 pitch. Just like that, he was trying to serve it into right, hits it out of play. When Zambrano came in to field that bunt, he nearly slipped on his backside, and there is a huge divot about halfway between the mound and home plate.
Very poor golf etiquette there. Not replace
that divot.
You got to replace that divot. Very poor.
A 3-1 pitch to Molina. There's your fly ball. Is it deep enough? Here he comes. Throw to the plate. Offline, and the Cardinals have the lead.
All you really have to hit is about a 300-foot fly ball, but you really do like Colvin as, from a defensive standpoint, he did everything he could to get his body behind the throw. Set up a way, gets it up a little bit so Yachty can go that way. Here Rasmus immediately comes back, tags up. With his speed, it shouldn't be close. But Colvin really got his body moving forward. And in the case the throw was up the line, which might have almost helped out, but mechanically he did everything right to give himself any kind of chance.
Ryan spins away from a breaking ball. Colby makes it 2-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. High chopper to Aramis Ramirez. Tony La Russa and the Cardinals trying to salvage a game here tonight against the Cubs. 2-1. Bottom of the 8th in Cincinnati, and it's 6-4. Reds with the lead over Arizona. We're in the 7th here, and it's 2-1. The Redbirds on top. Carpenter has allowed just 2 hits tonight. Ramirez, Nady, and Soriano. Ramirez has flied out twice, once to right, the other time to left.
Last hit that Carpenter has allowed was a leadoff single back in the 3rd. Hill, he scored on the Blake DeWitt sac fly. Carpenter's only allowed 1 other base runner. That was a walk.
With his start tonight, Carpenter now above 215 innings pitched. Last year was 192 2/3.
Cutter.
Slicing down the right field line, and that's going to get down. Extra bases for Ramirez, who limps into second base. Yadier Molina with tonight's Hardy's prime cut of the game.
That sac fly got a little too elevated on a 3-1 pitch. Broke the 1-1 tie as Rasmus scored. And that last cutter really didn't have much bite to it.
Would you bunt here with Nady, or do you say we have enough confidence in him to either move that runner along or drive him in? He's your 5th place hitter.
The Cardinals played small ball and it paid off to break the tie as they got the sac fly from Yachty. Nady has rolled over on 2 ground balls to short, so not showing that ability to go to right field. Look how far off the line Albert is. And in the outfield, they're swinging around for him to hit to right field. Big gap out in left center. And he's trying to pull the ball.
Lopez, no play.
Yeah, Lopez slips down. He's a divot, but good golf etiquette as he puts his divot back in place.
Only play for him, you would think, is to go to first, and yet he looked behind him to possibly go to third.
I think in his mind he felt like he couldn't make the throw to first base. He makes the determination right there, so he turns to see if he has a play at third, and that's when his footing went out from underneath him. But he did replace his divot, if you're keeping score, which, Dan, I know you know a lot of people at home are.
Absolutely. There's Soriano. Takes a ball down and in. Soriano has walked. He's back in the 5th and struck out in the 2nd. 2-1 Cardinals, but that's in jeopardy. Good pitch in on his hands.
Definitely need the strikeout or a pop-up. Can't get ahead of yourself. You can't strike somebody out until you have 2 strikes. So you really do think of the pop-up in the infield. No advancement. Get 2 strikes, then you think of the strikeout. Back inside, fastball. Good jam shot right there. One thing you do is pull almost a self-defense swing, and if you hit that ball, you're not going to keep it fair.
Look at that. The Cardinals 1 for 19 with runners in scoring position. Conversely, 12 base hits for the Cubs in this spot. The 1-2. Got him. Strikeout is Soriano. That's 6 tonight for Chris Carpenter.
2 of the 6 are on Soriano. Throwing up pitches inside, and then you work to the outside part of the plate. We both know, Dan, that Soriano's got such a lively bat. You just can't, he'll strike out a ton, but you make some mistakes, he'll make you pay.
Colvin would be tough to double up. Hitting from this side of the plate, he runs well. Right fielder tonight. 1 out runners at the corners. Struck out his first time swinging in the 2nd. And then hit a rocket off the glove of Carpenter back in the 5th. It turned out to go 1-6-3.
Playing a double play depth up the middle. Felipe off the line. Albert guarding, but he's breaking away from the bag. Carpenter's such a warrior, and he knows that his teammates have given him a 2-1 lead. You've got to put down a shutdown inning.
Trying to pick up win number 16 tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-2. Pitch count at 90 now for Chris Carpenter.
90, but he's a big, strong guy. It is getting late in the season. Really hasn't had to labor much in this game.
2/3 of his pitches tonight have gone for strikes.
Curveball.
The confidence with 2 strikes and a runner at third to put that ball in the dirt with Molina behind the plate.
Sounds like something very simple, but it is such a relief to a pitcher know that with a runner on third base, tie and run, and you can throw a ball in the dirt and it will be blocked. Want the fastball away, back to the curveball. Just didn't pull down on it. 3-2.
Big pitch right here.
The cutter.
Just got a piece. Phillies leading their game 9-4, top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th, Cincinnati 6-4 over the Diamondbacks. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
They want the fastball away, back to the curveball.
And a high drive into deep right field. Wing is back, he looks up, and it's gone. He hung it. Colvin with the home run number 20. And the Cubs go on top.
And there's a hanging curveball where he gets so many. If that starts up so high, if it starts up around your shoulders, it's going to be, in the strike zone. If it starts out around the belt, it'll break down below the strike zone, and you probably get your out.
You would figure that this would be the final inning of work for Carpenter. Do it first for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 7th.
Unfortunately, you're probably correct. There's a cutter there.
Hill.
Really locked him up. That's what he tried to do on the 3-1 pitch. Excuse me, the pitch before the 2-2 pitch. I don't think 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Any more guesses, do I do?
2-1 here. 383 feet measured distance in the home run by Colvin, and that's driven into deep right center. Rasmus back, and it drops in front of the wall, and Hill has himself a double. Four hits in the inning.
Micah Hoffpower will pinch hit right at the base of the wall. Goes over Kobe's head, but it's going to be a double either way. And Micah Hoffpower is in for Zambrano.
Here's Hoffpower with 1 out and a runner at second base. So that's it for Zambrano. It's up to the Cubs bullpen to hold this 4-2 lead.
Man in scoring position, 1 out. They're banking that they can add on. 104 pitches thrown for Zambrano, and this will be number 100 for Carpenter.
And that's driven down the right field line at a fair ball. It's off the sidewall. It's still in play. Hoffpower to second. And he'll stop there.
Look at Holiday, backs it up. Carpenter tried to get back there, got by Lopez and Carpenter, and the left fielder Holiday got all the way, hustled over there to back up and keep Hoffpower at second base.
They just get the right-hander up right now in the bullpen.
Hoffpower thought about going for 3. He looks at his third base coach, held it at second, and they got a little careless with the throw in. And here Molina trying to slow him down. Jason Mott's the right-hander warming up for the Cards. And now Molina's trying to call out Carpenter, or call out Tony. This will be a medical condition, not charged against him, but not good news. As Carpenter kind of hanging his head. Either way, he's coming out of this game. Dejected Carpenter right there. Let's hope it's maybe not an arm issue, but does he stumble here trying to back up and injure himself?
Chicago now is 7 hits to the Cardinals 4, and they lead it 5-2. But a bigger concern, I think, for most Cardinal fans would be the health of Chris Carpenter and making sure that it's not something serious. So Chevy called to the bullpen. It's Jason Mott. 28-year-old takes over with 1 out, runner at second here in the 7th inning.
Dave Duncan right now is just he's trying to focus on this ball game, but in the back of his mind, he's spinning. Our esteemed director, author Tom Mee said that Wainwright kind of looked like he went over and asked Duncan, and whatever Dave said to him as the ball gets away from Molina, pass ball, and runner will go to third. But kind of looks like Wainwright said something to Duncan. Duncan responded and said, "Wow." And it's not the news that Wainwright or any of his teammates wanted to hear about Carpenter initially, what they're thinking.
You see that reaction and you just wonder what is going on right now with Carpenter. What is the injury? Just hope it has nothing to do with the shoulder, the elbow, the arm.
you were hoping, well, maybe it was something leg-wise or something. But when he tried to stop his momentum as it slipped over there on the turf, he looked like he put his arm down and maybe jarred something, elbow or shoulder, but we're just, I don't mean to speculate, but we're as concerned as you see with the expression on Wainwright's face.
Time called.
Atlanta lost again tonight to Washington. Philadelphia has the lead late. They could go 3 up on Atlanta with the victory behind Halliday, looking for number 19.
Count of 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and a runner at third. The next 2, Blake DeWitt. Swing and a miss. He strikes out again.
This Mott's been pitching very well. He's now 4 innings in shutout baseball since he returned from the DL.
Catch all the action of the 2010 Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins October 6th with the Division Series on TBS. Darwin Barney. Pair of ground outs. He's also flied out. Despite looking in that dugout, see if Wainwright and Duncan, their thoughts, I'm sure, with Carpenter, and also going over the charts of Dave Duncan. 1-0 pitch.
Trying to worry about this ball game, but back in your mind, you're worrying about your good friend and kind of have a ache in the belly as you just don't like the initial reports from Carpenter that he just stood there, just like not wanting to tell him how he was feeling. But you got to play this game and finish the season.
A 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Mott, couple of strikeouts in relief of Chris Carpenter. Time to stretch. Cubs grab the lead with 4 runs. And the Hyundai long drive inning sweepstakes. John Maine, by the way, is the new pitcher, the lefty. Cardinals hit a home run here in the 7th. David White qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing on September 30th. To see the all-new Hyundai Sonata, log on to MySt.LouisHyundaiDealers.com. So Scott Maine, the lefty, is in. 2.84 ERA. In 6 1/3 innings pitched this year. Chevy called to the pen. And Stavinoa will be the pinch hitter.
He was 4-2 with 10 saves, 3.14 ERA, and 45 relief appearances for AA Tennessee and AAA Iowa. Originally signed by Arizona in the 6th round of the 07 draft. Maine was acquired by Chicago in the Heidelman trade.
Pop Power stays in the game at first base, and the first pitch is taken for a ball by Stavinoa, who not only has thrived in this spot this year, but very aggressive. He gets a pitch to hit. He doesn't get cheated very often. Sharp play to short. 1 away. Seen Maine now. This is the 2nd time in this series. And the Cubs are telling us they really like the upside for Maine. Skip Schumacher will be the hitter with 1 out, nobody on, back to the top of the lineup. Slings the ball up there for strike 1. Blake Hawksworth getting loose in the pen. Right-hander and a lefty getting loose in the Chicago bullpen. So they say a hamstring injury to Chris Carpenter, cramping of the right hamstring.
Well, I mean, now that is probably the best news you can hear. A cramp, you need to recover right away. But it sure looked like he was a lot more dejected than just a hamstring cramp.
Let's hope that's all it is. 1 ball, 1 strike. Check that, 2 strikes on Schumacher, 1 and 2. Reds hold on, 7-5 in their ball game.
Maine would love to be with the Cardinal organization. Yes, he was born in Jupiter and makes his home in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, the site of the Cardinal spring training headquarters.
Let's see where he'd be tough on those lefties.
Just 25 years of age.
Two and 2. Cardinals have struggled with their offense. See San Diego come to town. Great pitching. At times their offense has struggled this year. Two outs.
On this ball a little further away, leaves it down and in, but Schumacher pulling off the pitch, swings over the top of it.
Top of the 9th, Tampa Bay leading New York 4-3 in that all-important series in the American League East. Tampa Bay could lead the Yankees by a half game with a win. Here's the former Yankee, Randy Wynn.
and former Ray.
1,700 games now in Randy's career without a postseason appearance. Just think about Ernie Banks, the great Ernie Banks. Never got a chance to play in postseason. A lot different back then. If you had no divisions, you just had the National League and American League. But and a lot of great players that never got that opportunity. And there's some players that, luck of the draw, it just seem like they're always in postseason play. And
Jason Marquis. Lonnie Smith was in postseason play a lot.
For an older guy like Dal Maxfield. I mean, all those years in the 60s with the Cardinals. Then he went to Oakland when they were in the run. He went to Pittsburgh when they were winning.
Ran with a fly ball into right center that gets down. He's going to try for two. No, he'll stop there. Good play by Marlon Byrd to get it back in.
That's how you run the bases. You've got to think, too, when you leave the batter's box. Then you aggressively run to first, round that bag. You're thinking two all the way. You're going to make two. It's still two. It's still two. Uh-oh. Now they get the ball back in and you stop. But that's how you run the bases. You make that defense. Look how quickly they get it back in by Marlon Byrd. Gets the ball thrown back that way, so you stop. Even though the throw's a little offline, you can't make that judgment. But you run aggressively right out of the get-go, right out of the box.
So that'll be it for Maine. With Pujols coming up, they'll go to the bullpen. 5-2. Cubs on top. $39,940 tonight. Average of over 40,000 for the 3 games.
Cardinals once again, the last couple homestands, been over 40 or sellout every night.
Al, did you see Cincinnati had just over 12,000?
Yeah, I read that. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Man.
Haven't been in a pennant race for about 15 years, and they're only drawing 12,000 fans. That was their low point for the season, right?
Yes, 2 nights ago. 3-0 with 2 outs and a runner at first. Mateo in jeopardy of walking Pujols and bringing the tying run to the plate. And he's done it. Inning was continued by Randy Wynn with a single to right center, walk to Pujols, and here's Matt Holliday. One swing could tie it up.
Speaking of Cincinnati, Mateo was acquired from Cincinnati in a trade back in 07. Trade for outfielder Buck Coates. He's 26 years of age. He's from the Dominican Republic. And Holliday has got a chance to make a statement in this game. With the Cardinals right back in it, he represents a potential tying run.
The Rockies avoid a sweep today. They beat San Diego. They're 2.5 games out. Troy Tulowitzki with 2 more home runs. He has 11 home runs in the month of September.
Well, he's an exciting player, isn't he?
He is. He's fun to watch, and he's very good defensively, too, as we've seen.
Yeah, very good all-around player, and you don't realize how big he is. Shortstop that is just huge.
Agile, great range, good arm. He had 7 RBIs today, too. Holliday down the right field line. That's a fair ball. Into the corner it goes. They'll hold up Pujols, and a base hit could tie it up.
.94 RBIs for Holliday now.
His first hit of the night, second time he's been on base. He also reached on an error.
Down the way, just drives the ball into the right field corner. He hits the ball hard, doesn't he? And just takes Randy Wynn with the 3rd Cardinal run. Albert goes to 3rd. He's at 2nd. And Mateo is through. Russell, the left-hander, will be coming in.
James Russell, 52nd appearance, and a lefty-lefty matchup here. Russell gets Colby Rasmus, who's had a good night. Rasmus with a double, run scored as an RBI with a sac fly and singled in the 2nd inning. Base hit could tie it up. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. 5-3 Chicago.
Second appearance for Russell in this series.
I think it's good to see that Tony's sticking with Colby in this spot against a left-hander. Earlier in the year, you probably would not have seen that.
Probably wouldn't, but
he has been hitting much better, though.
He is, and yet, you know, he really doesn't have a lot of options. John Jay would be one of them, another left-handed hitter.
And that's a strike.
Anybody else is not really a true outfielder. So if Kobe's going to be an everyday player, he's going to have to hit left-handers. So this is all part of the maturing process, and let him stay out there, give him a little vote of confidence. One of the things that Kobe, and you see he's hit 270 against him. Big difference in home runs and RBIs. Right now, he's got to learn to hit the ball the opposite field, particularly out to lefties. We're going to pitch him away. And he even made a joke to me the other day, that pitcher threw the ball down and in, the only place he's looking right now. We've seen a lot of clubs are trying to pitch him away as he's just trying to pull that ball, and there's a lot of hits to the opposite field that he'll go with the pitch.
A 2-2 pitch. Lopez, the switch hitter, on deck. Right-hander getting loose in the pen for Chicago.
Cashner is the right-hander warming up.
Got him. Heading over, Cardinals strand 2. They do pick up a run. Cubs on top 5-3 as we head to the 8th. Three-run homer in the 7th off of Carpenter. Big difference in this game. Crisco 6 1/3, 7 hits, 5 runs. Zambrano 6 innings, 4 hits, and 1 earned run. Verizon Wireless game summary. And looking at the in-game box score. And look at the bottom of that order. That was the case, remember, last night. And really in this series, they've gone 16 for 33, 7 through 9 in this series with 11 RBIs.
And just also the fact that they have gotten the key base hits with runners in scoring position. The Cardinals have not. Hawksworth will take over here.
Kyle Drabek made his major league debut. Doug's son, former Cy Young Award winner with the Pittsburgh Pirates back in 1990. And Kyle was part of the Roy Halladay deal with Toronto. Gave up 3 runs and 9 hits, struck out 5, walked 3, and took a loss. As you get the numbers for Blake Hawksworth. Outside of Halladay, he was really the centerpiece going back.
Yes. And his name was rumored in just about every prominent trade. And eventually he went in the Halladay deal.
How about Jose Bautista? Speaking of the Blue Jays, 47 now.
47 home runs. His career high was 16 prior to this year.
George Bell's mark from 1987. Unbelievable. 47. Pass Pujols, and Marlon Byrd on his way to second base. Byrd was hustling out of the box and picks up a double.
You have to want a double. And look at how he hustles out of the batter's box. He sees that ball is down in the corner, just puts his head down. He made that commitment, and he comes away with it. Randy Wynn played that ball very well, got it back in quickly. But because he left the batter's box thinking two, he's successful.
Dan Johnson of the Rays, a couple of home runs tonight against the Yankees. Tampa Bay, 88 and 57. They win 2 of 3 against the Yankees. They have a 4-game set in the Bronx next week.
That's what the pennant race is all about. It's just a shame the Cardinals don't have any more games left with Cincinnati. They handled easily 12-6 against the Reds this year, but could not beat teams under 500.
And the Cardinals play 500 baseball, could be under 500 after tonight against the NL Central Division.
That's another factor. Pretty hard to win the division if you don't play, if you don't dominate it. And even just being at 500, you're usually not going to win your division.
Pitcher Russell is on deck as Dennis Reyes is getting loose. Trevor Miller is available tonight.
No reason to use him, though. If you're...
That's hammered deep left, and that ball is gone. Home run, Aramis Ramirez, number 23, and a 2-run homer. And the Cubs add to their lead. It's now 7-3.
Ramirez knew that he had hit this home run right after he made contact. Ball down. Look at he goes down and gets it, but he gets a good part of the bat on it. He knew there's no doubt. And watch Holiday as he's frustrated. Looks at the scoreboard. The dreams are coming to an end for 2010.
Ramirez, the 2-time All-Star, connects with his 23rd home run. He had just 15 last year in an injury-plagued season, 27 the year before, 26 before that. He's had seasons well above 30 with Chicago.
He's also had 6 seasons of 100 or more RBIs.
This is Brad Snyder, a pinch hitter. Soriano on deck. Still nobody out. Home run measured at 386 feet. There's a fly ball into center field. Rasmus under it to make the catch.
Big hello to Mark O'Neill's mom and dad watching tonight's game back in Arkansas. Mark, the head trainer for the Cubs, former assistant for the Cardinals, just a great young man.
Talked about last night that season schedule is out for 2011, and for the Cubs, they will head to Fenway Park. First time in nearly 100 years. March 31st will be the first regular season game. Soriano strikes out, 2 away.
And you said the Cardinals open up on a Thursday.
Off day Friday and then wrap up their series. I believe that's against San Diego to open up the year.
That's what you said yesterday.
Yankees are hoping to get Andy Pettitte back in the rotation on Sunday. Going to move Javier Vasquez to their bullpen. Never has been comfortable with the Yankees in 2 stints in pinstripes. Colvin with the home run, his 20th earlier tonight.
Their rookie home run mark is 25 by the great Billy Williams.
Backhanded by Pujols to Oxford. A fine play all around. Aramis Ramirez connects on a 2-run homer. 7-3 Cubs. On Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By AT&T Mobility. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. Back in St. Louis, Cardinals and the Cubs. And it's 7-3 Chicago, bottom of the 8th. Andrew Cashner's 2-5 will take over. Reached the big leagues after only 43 minor league appearances. He had 39 starts in the minors. Primarily a starter during his pro career, but he was the closer for TCU when he was drafted by the Chicago Cubs. And he was a high draft pick. First round, 19th overall in 2008. Began the season ranked as their number 4 prospect by Baseball America. Hard thrower, and they say he's got very good stuff.
Got an electric arm. You really see that. Pitched earlier in this series as he went 1 in the 3rd innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and 7 batters faced.
Has held opponents scoreless in 29 of his 45 major league appearances. He's gotten better as time has gone on this year, including 22 of his last 32. Felipe 1 for 2 tonight. It's a ground ball, and Ramirez is there, gloves and throws. Here's Molina. Another night where the offense Just hasn't done all that much. 6 base hits for the Cardinals tonight. Out hit 9-6 and trailing 7-3.
The Cardinals can't score any more, Dan. They would be 2-8 when scoring 3 runs, but 7 and 52. They'd be 2-9 with just 3 runs scored. 7 and 52 when scoring 3 runs or less. And wasted a lot of very good pitching over the year.
1-0 pitch. This should be out number 2, Marlon Byrd.
John Jay will pinch hit now.
Lowest September team averages 2010. This is a list the Cardinals don't want to be on at 236.
Isn't that surprising, though? In 1982, which was a pretty good year in Cardinal history.
So was 87.
87 also. National League champions, 82. World champions, right?
You got it. 1982 and 87. Lost to Minnesota. Minnesota looks like they're headed to postseason play again. Ron Gardenhire has been very good when you think about what he's done for a number of years now after Tom Kelly.
John Jay has done a nice job in the starting rotation, well over 300. You know, in the lineup, but he's been a very good pinch hitter also. He is 7 for 18 at 389 average as a pinch hitter.
It's it out of play. Gardenhire, last 2 years, has finished up as the runner-up for the manager of the year in the American League. And a lot of people, I'm talking with scouts today, they feel that he's an absolute lock to get it this year.
He's from Oklahoma. And a good guy.
Cashner gets the strikeout, sends us to the 9th. Cardinals go in order. It's 7-3 Cubs.
Coming up after the game on the post-game edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live, Pat Paris, Rick Horton, and Cal Eldred are all at Lumiere Place. An update on Chris Carpenter, a big night for Big Z, and the latest on the Jaime Garcia situation. All that and more coming up. Matt Pagnazzi behind the plate for the Redbirds. We go back to the booth and Dan and Al. Gentlemen.
Denny's Reyes on the mound. Pagnazzi behind the plate as the rain starts to fall here at Busch Stadium. Just started.
Well, according to the truck, Dennis Reyes is throwing to the greatest, well, the nephew of the greatest catcher in Cardinal history.
First pitch. Hill pops it into right. Wynn makes the catch, battling the raindrops.
Now with the fact that Ted Simmons coming in town with San Diego, couldn't possibly be hearing that. I'm putting a disclaimer out. Ted, that is the truck that feels that Tom Pagnozzi, Matt's uncle, is the greatest catcher in history, and we'll explain that to you later. Oh, excuse me, it's been ratified to Major League Baseball history. But there's no bias or prejudice in that truck.
Some of the folks brought their umbrellas. The ones that didn't starting to head for cover. Appearance number 55 for Reyes.
Because the credibility of the world-renowned author Tom Meade could be in question.
And you can read. See, Tom Meade tells us if we mention his book,
He'll Pagnozzi.
Well, we'll get. That's coming. But he gets all kinds of hits on his website. So just go to his website and then buy his book, cuttingthegame.com.
In all seriousness, several colleges are now starting to use that as a reference point in their communication classes. It's a real good idea.
And he writes about the games afterwards on his blog. Matter of fact, Big Dog went there the other day and learned a couple of things about what he needed to improve upon at cuttingthegame.com.
That's probably why he was missed the last couple of games that he was studying. Better watch out, you're within reach.
He's not laughing either. One out and a runner at first, and a 7-3 Cubs lead. Late to win. 3 strikeouts tonight. Sac fly and an RBI. Reaches for it. Shallow center. Colby is there to make the catch, and there's 2 outs.
Is really lightened up, so get this final out here and get back on offense. See if we can take one from behind.
So many great stories this year in baseball. One of those, the Padres will see them here tomorrow at 6:30. Talked about Jose Bautista with his 47 home runs. About R.A. Dickey and what he's done at 35 years old with the Mets. Cardinals, Jaime Garcia. Matt Latos of the Padres. Ball scoots away, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Puts Hoffpauir in scoring position. That's Miles at shortstop, as you see. Left center. Colby on the move. Going back and makes the catch over the shoulder. Oh, what a play by Colby Rasmus. Playing in and makes a fantastic catch in center field. First pitch was a ball to Miles. Second pitch, take it for a strike. Remember, Miles signed a contract a couple years ago to play for Chicago. And he bounced around a little bit and has wound up back in St. Louis. 1-1. And he drills one out to deep rights. And the catch made by Colvin. Budweiser player of the game, Carlos Zambrano. 6 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts.
Trying to run his record to 6-0 here at Busch Stadium. It's very well since coming back. Get a chance to see these Cubbies one more time. Not this weekend, but next weekend up in Chicago.
One ball, one strike on Schumacher. Base hit. Oh, a 2 on Randy Wynn. One out and a runner at first, the 0-2 pitch. Even late in games, something is always on the line. Maybe trying to pick up that base hit, make it a 2-hit night.
It's the old story. Don't give away at bats. You know, string together something. Maybe come back.
$41,145. They just made a change in the attendance. So they go over 40,000 here tonight. There's not 40,000 here right now, though.
Ticket sold. Ticket sold. Rain has stopped, so no excuse. Mount your comeback.
Win into right center, and that'll get down. Schumacher to third. First and third with one out.
There's your 3-hit night for Randy Wynn. Randy has a good night. Jumps in this ball out away from him. Plugs the gap out in the right center. 2 men on. It's like a double switch. Mike Quaddy, the interim manager, has been quite busy pulling the strings here. So far, everything's gone right. Bring in the closer, Marlon. Take a break. 7-3.
Seven-3 game, and here is Albert Pujols with one out. And that may have hit him. It did. Bases loaded. And the tying run will come to the plate in Matt Holliday.
Marmol hit and converted 9 straight save opportunities. He retired 10 straight batters, and that one just hit him right on the blouse. The jersey and no body contact. He's disappointed he couldn't add to his 104 RBIs, but a chance here for Holliday, who's sitting on 94.
And he was trying to tie it up. Schumacher with a base hit. Wynn with a base hit. Pujols hit by a pitch. Bases loaded, one out. Third time tonight the Cardinals have had the bases loaded. The 0-1. Holliday, another big rip.
Marmol has 120 strikeouts on the season. New career high for him. He's 9 away from tying the franchise record of Bruce Sutter back in '77, but in a lot more innings than what Marmol has thrown.
Stays in there on the breaking ball and spoils it, hits it out of play. So a little excitement here at the ballpark before this night is through.
In Holliday's career, he has 4 slams, but a .370 average, 94 RBIs in bases loaded situations.
Let's see where Carlos is trying to get him to chase that breaking ball outside. Maybe get him to swing and miss or ground into a double play and pull it.
Did that earlier in the game.
2-2.
Now he wants to retire him on this 2-2 pitch. Doesn't want to take a chance on a 3-2 pitch. In and out of the strike zone, walk in and run.
Down to chase. And he slams his bat as he strikes out. It's about the most emotion you'll see Matt Holliday show after an at-bat right here.
Yeah, he's Man it himself. He was guessing for a pitch in the strike zone, and as you said, chased the breaking ball out of the strike zone.
Colby Rasmus, final hope with the bases loaded, 2 down. Last sweep in St. Louis. How about that? 1988.
He would run the season series 8 wins for the Cubs, 4 for the Cardinals.
Colby's had a good night. Just to clarify, that's the last 3-game sweep. There has been a couple of 2-game sweeps. Still not done yet. Colby with a single and a double tonight. Sac fly RBI. That was in the 3rd and struck out in the 7th.
One swing, tie this game.
Throw that slider and it goes down and in, and he may lose it.
Fastball he tried to overthrow and almost left that down and in.
He's 0 for 3 against the hard-throwing right-hander of Chicago. Felipe Lopez on deck if Colby can extend this inning.
You think Marmol will try and work on the outside part of the plate, either backdoor slider or the fastball away, but they're setting up in.
Took something off that pitch, 3-2. That was at 84. You gear up for the fastball. He throws it in the mid-90s, and then very tough pitch there.
Slider there that Colby swinging over the top. Not committed to that swing, back inside.
There go the runners, and there goes a sweep for Chicago. They're off to Florida. The Cardinals welcome San Diego to town tomorrow night. Couple of big home runs, one of those by Aramis Ramirez. A sweep by Chicago.